I'm live, I think. How's the video look? A little dark, a little dark. Let's see if we could do this too. We got a lot to cover today, so we got a lot. Is Ross Gerber crying yet? I think he's live on Twitter, probably crying. Oh, Elon needs to stop doing Twitter stuff. Elon's the richest guy in the world. Gerber, shut up. No one cares about you. Not a soul cares about you, except the dummies who gave you money to manage. All right, let's talk about Tesla. Ouch, Tesla. I think it's starting to become clear that this is indeed a car company. It is a car company. Free cash flow missed huge. No one's talking about that, of course, because why should you? Vehicle production down 400,000 units. That stinks. And they keep opening factories, spending money because they want to ramp production. So good job. Revenue down a touch. That's fine. Where was it? Cybertruck on track to begin production later this year. I can't wait to see those ugly ass shits on the road. Gross margin 19.3, down from 21.2. And what did he do last night? He cut the price of the Model 3 again. Still see operating margin among the highest in the industry. Yep. Okay, cool. What about next quarter? And then the quarter after that, when demand keeps falling, you have to keep cutting your prices. I mean, the writing's on the wall, people. The writing is on the wall. All right. It should be an interesting call. I'm not going to listen to it because I could care less. The stock should be down. This thing should be down way more, but it's not because the Colt is strong with this one, so it's only down $8. What's funny is starting at what, 224, big sell orders started coming in. This thing was trading at 183, 184. By close, it lost $4. And then after the release, it's down another. It was down another $7, and then now it's back up a touch, only down an additional $4. They always know this market's full of insider trading, and the big boys always know what's going to happen. They had the release early, and what they do is liquidate at the end of the day, and then they let retail dump on them, and they start gathering it back up. Clockwork with these fuckers. Anyways, so Tesla, writings on the wall. I want to talk about, I'm not going to name names here, but there's someone on Twitter who's got a big following. He's got 150,000 followers. I think he follows one person because he's arrogant little prick. And I'm noticing this more and more with Twitter. There's a lot of perma bulls and perma bears. I'm neither. I'm right up the middle. I day trade, so I'm in and out. I just like movement. And so far, the dynamics of the market, anytime we gap, we kind of just reverse and go the other way unless we have a trend day when there's big news. So when there's no news, you can kind of see what's going to happen before it happens. You trade futures. You don't care about theta, decay, anything else. You just care about movement. So today I was long going into the bell, the S&P futures by about 140, 152-ish, and I sold out at 72, 41, 72 on that first initial ramp after the bell. So that's good for 20 points. I basically didn't do much the rest of the day. I didn't think we'd go that much higher. Actually, I put a position on last night I got stopped out on. I logged 41.75, and I was looking for 41.87, but I had an order. It's called one or the other. One cancels other, OCO trade. And basically what it is you get long or short of stock, and then you put an OCO order in, and if one hits, then the other one cancels itself. So if this thing rallied up to 87, I would have been filled on my long. And then my stop loss, which I only had a 5-point loss on, 41.70 is where I put it. If that hit first, then, I stopped out. And then if the market rallied up to 41.87, I would have, there'd be no order there. It would have been canceled. So one cancels other. They're great. They're fantastic. If you have a position on, you got to go do something. You got to take a shit. Put an OCO in if your trend is right. Usually they work out pretty good in your favor. If it doesn't, then you get stopped out, and then you don't have any orders resting orders, limit orders in the market. Anyways, I had that on last night. Got stopped out, and then thank goodness I had that ordering because it went down another, to 18 points. But it was very calculated. I mean, does anybody really care about Great Britain's inflation rate? No, the answer is no. No one cares. So I saw that, and then obviously I mean, it's not that obvious. I'm acting like it's easy to do, but it seemed clear to me that was overdone, and based on the VIX trading, the VIX, it gapped up to 1720-ish from a 1680, and then it kind of spiked, but then it tanked about 20. It was a half hour before. What time? It spiked down at 7:45, so 45 minutes before the opening bell, and right when I saw that, like, this thing's just gonna go straight up. Everybody's still short. Don't believe everything you read on Twitter. The positioning for the S&P futures is near record short. Individual stock names, there's some names that people are long, obviously. I mean, how can you not be? But in terms of futures and the indexes, record short still, which is why we keep getting these little mini gamma rallies. Puts come off early. Anytime we gap down, puts come off early. Am I clipping? No. Puts come off early, and it just adds a tailwind, and we just slowly grind up, and that's what we saw today. And then we popped on Beige Book, and then kind of settled back down a little bit. Any hooters, this guy on Twitter with a massive following, I don't know why. This guy has been shitting on Apple since about 120, calling for a $90 price target. And when Cook and some other insiders sold Apple stock, I think now? It's at 167 right now, just broke out massively. They sold like $5 or $6 below this. And there you go, perma bears go fucking nuts. All insiders, of course, are going to sell at the top. This is the top. Ever sell it, crash everything. Everything's going to hell. Of course they're going to, so whatever. Yeah, it went down $5 and then went back up 15. So the same bears were going, Apple's announced that they're really making a push in India now. And this fuckstick had the audacity to claim that that's bearish. Apple making a push into India, the second largest population in the world. That's bearish. And his comment was, yeah, like the average wage there is less than what an iPhone cost. Yeah, okay. When Apple entered China 15 years ago, I mean, that wasn't too much better. It really wasn't. And you think Apple's not going to produce a phone that they can sell cheaply so they can get market share over there? Please, let's be smart, people. And they're not leaving China. They're just expanding. Yeah, they're moving some manufacturing over, which is smart. That's just smart business. Diversify your manufacturing plants, your workforce, your dependency on governments. That's just smart business. And this guy just, it's bearish. It's a shitty company. It's going to 90. Meanwhile, all he talks about is how good Tesla is. Tesla's a car, it's not a car company. No one can do FSD like they can, even though they're rated like 15 out of 18 of the top FS. I'm making that number up, but they're ranked dog shit compared to the Waymos, the Baidus is even ranked better than them at FSD. So if they're not good at that, they can't expand solar very well or power energy, the batteries that they don't produce. Panasonic produces them, and they keep cutting prices on their cars. And now their margins are under 20%. That was the whole bull case for Tesla. Their margins are the best ever. Okay, to get market share, and now that demand's slowly dwindling, and now they're cutting prices. As that demand continues to dwindle, what do you think they're going to do? Cut prices until their margins are the same as everybody else in that industry. They're a car company, and they should be priced as one. Their batteries stink. FSD blows. They're using a beta program on live civilians. Should be illegal. I remember Elon said your cars will appreciate in price. Model S is going to be like $175K or whatever he said, Model 3s or whatever, because they'll turn into robo-taxis. Yeah, maybe in another 75 years at this rate, for fuck's sake. Anyways, I think Tesla, again, the cult's so strong with this one, it's going to be hard to fully break it. Under 162, I think it's got legs down, 140 to 143. Under that's death, I think. So we'll see. What's nice is that their market cap's slowly dwindling, so it's got less and less weight in the S&P. So it can't move the S&P around very much anymore, which is great. All right, I'll move on from Tesla. I can't wait to see what a crybaby Gerber is today. Musk says Microsoft trained illegally using what? It probably means ChatGPT trained using Twitter data illegally. Yeah, so make up your losses by suing other people. That's always a good route to go. That always makes for good business. All right, sorry, nice little rant. It's rare to see IBM up on their earnings and Tesla down. It's a welcome sight, to be honest. Regional banks are all doing well. Go figure. The things that took the market down in the first place are all rallying back. I do want to talk about my baby. I'll talk about Rumble first. Rumble just signed. I don't think they announced it yet, but signed a massive streamer on Twitch. And look, they're spending money to get people over, to get market share, to boost numbers. And if those people like it, they'll make the full adapt. They'll come over full time, and that'll be their number one platform. That's the play. And I said it'd be a rough go, and this is why, because this is the part where they're growing market share, and they're going to be spending to do that. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, they're smart about it, and they don't spend. Basically, hopefully they drops Twitter from its advertising platform as they refuse to pay Twitter's API fees. Good move. So if Rumble's smart about it, they're not going to, pay hand over fist without kind of knowing what kind of number of people are bringing over, and that's all going to help ad sales. So if I forget this rapper who came over, I didn't look at the numbers yet, but if they start poaching these people and they're exclusive on the site and they bring over 20% of their following, they can kind of calculate out what their ad revenue is going to be based on that new the new signups, the new clicks and views, and they can kind of calculate it that way if they're smart about it. So we'll see. That's why it's going to be a rough road, but it's going to take time. But the stock price is anything, if it continues above 9, I think we're sitting pretty. It's got a trend line up. It's looking pretty good. It keeps rejecting this 950, 960 area. So we'll see. With that one. But I like the strategy. Just gotta keep executing it, and don't run out of cash. So you have to dilute. If they start diluting, we're out. We're gonna bail. But I don't see that happening. The pendulum is swinging in their favor, in my opinion. Let's see. Lamb Research beat, but this thing trades like fucking shit. Actually, I might be looking at this one tomorrow. IV smash. All puts and calls fucked, just like Netflix. Every year with Netflix. Every single time with Netflix. It's an IV smash. It's a sucker trade going into their earnings. An absolute sucker trade. With options, anyways. Good luck trading the commons when it tanks to what it tanked to 294. That earnings was 333, tanked to 292, and then rallied right back to 235. So good luck with that. This is also the best part about the perma bears is they can only do damage after hours. They go MIA during the day because they have no guts, no gusto, no strength or power. Yet. I think we rip to 4,200 before we decide next move. If they start buying up Tesla during the call, that might be tomorrow. 4,200 might be tomorrow. We'll see. Let's see what else. Banks are hilarious. Apple, just a fucking golden god. Good luck shorting that thing. If you do, you can make like $3. There's better things to short. I'll talk about my baby now. Novix. My girl. So, tough couple days, but 1, 4, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 out of the last 12 days. Sellers. And we're still up 102% on the year. So, a little perspective on that. What they did was an offer. It wasn't like a traditional offering. It's an offer. Jesus, I'm just gonna bail. Fuck this. You guys are such fucking losers. It's a notes offering. Basically, so TJ invested 5 of his own mil in it. His buddy from Impasse, what's it called? Phase Energy came over, did 5 mil there. Private placement of the rest sold out before they even announced it. So fully funded, 150 mil with an option to buy another 22 mil, I believe. And it's all going into fabrication of the Fab 2 line. And with that, they're going to be able to build the line to produce, I think he said 65 million batteries a year. So it's going to take about, so you're you're telling me they raise 150, potentially 170 some million to build their line to then produce 60 million batteries a year? Yeah, sign me up. All fucking day, sign me up. But the thing with this is, so they're hedging their positions with the purchase. So if you look out into January 24 options, the 12.5 calls traded 11,000 times, the 12.5 puts, the 15 puts, and the 17.5 puts collectively 12, 30, 9, 11, like 15. About 15,000 times. So when they do this, the market maker, whoever's the market maker on ENVX has to hedge their positions. So in retail or even institutions buy or sell puts, they need the shares either on their balance sheet or they need to be shorted or they have to just be hedged. That's the whole point of the market maker. They have to be hedged. They don't want a position. So when they did this, the market maker was forced to sell shares, and they have been selling them for the last two days, essentially. So when that news announced, they opened green, rallied to 14.38, and now we're trading at 12.65. And that's all just hedging. That's all hedging. And based on the tomfoolery that goes on in this market, I almost guarantee they knew they were coming for this thing. The previous 6 days, because that's what they've. The fuck was that? I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. Are we still live here? All right, cool. Sorry about that. So that's all market making hedging. That's all they're hedging. So it traded 12, almost 13 million in volume yesterday. Another 8.1 today. This thing averages like 4 or 5 mil a day. That's all hedging. It did some damage to the charts, but charts are only what happened in the past. So right now it's sitting at 1265. It needs to hold 1266. Fitting, very fitting. It did break the trend line, so we'll see how the rest of the week finishes up. But I think this is all adding here. I added more today. I'll probably add more tomorrow. This got earnings on the 26th, which is, what's today? That's in 1 week. So next Wednesday it's got earnings. And that's when we'll find out exactly what's going to happen in the future. It's probably going to be the biggest earnings release in the young new regime. So I'm getting bullied up big time on this one. But so I know I shit on this guy earlier who hates the greatest company in Apple and loves Tesla, the shittiest company in the market, in my opinion. It's not the shittiest. Sorry, I'm a little extreme with that call, but yeah, he's stubborn with his calls. I am a little bit stubborn with Novix, and I plan to be. Just solely based on what I think this thing can do. Not solely based, but I mean, now the funding is done. They can get their plant fabrication line up and running, fully functional. I think they have 4 lines at 60 mil a piece. They also said that they smoked their, when they announced 2 days ago this funding, they also pre-announced that they did a 40% increase in production on their current line. No one saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. So they're doing that on their first line, which wasn't expected at all. They weren't supposed to do much there. So now they're fully funded. They got a spot in Malaysia. they have, and what's going to be the most telling during earnings is what their customers are doing now, because they have, I forget the number, it's a shit ton of customers testing out their products with the idea of moving them towards production. So new products, current products, new models of current products. Some of these manufacturers are still private. So if we see more moving from testing phase to pre-production or full production, then we're going to start seeing those sales orders come in. They're going to come in quick and they're going to be big. And if they, let's say you got a phone coming out next year, I mean, I don't think that the factory is actually going to be done for like another year. So never mind on that one. But they'll start making purchase orders to be, hey, delivery in, spring of 2024. So even if they start small, with the ramp up 40%, and if they're on pace to do another 40% or another essentially 140%, they're going to double production every quarter this year, and they doubled it plus 40%. So 140% is the actual number. They're expecting 9,000, and they got 12,000. So they went 140%. So if they do that again, then they're starting to cook with gas. And they could start pushing, at least to their smaller customers, start pushing product out. And again, anybody who says they don't have revenue is wrong. They have revenue. It's small, but they have it. So just be careful on who you fucking follow out there, because there's a lot of shitheads. And if you don't buy a Novix, I don't care. I really don't. This is like a diary for me. Something to get out in the ether, But I do think this 110X is over the course of the next 4 years. 3, I'd say like 2.5 actually. So that's a Novix. Watch this one. I think they're giving us a big old gift. 1233 was the low today. I actually called that low. It's a big number. It's got to hold it tomorrow. If it doesn't, 1181 prints probably. And then that one's really got to hold. But the clouds will look good here. Trend line kind of broke. So tomorrow and Friday are going to be probably pretty damn important for this thing going into next week. What I'd like to see is this thing kind of pop back up to 13 and sit until earnings. That would be the ideal. That would be the ideal. But I'm adding here, and I'll probably add more if it goes down further. I'm going full go on this thing. Because I want to, not financial advice. Do whatever the fuck you want. That's what I'm going to do. Man, my fibs are good. I got a Tesla fib at 173.52. Tesla 173.50. Been sitting there since the second dump. When you know, you know. Alright, I think that's it. I'm actually going to keep an eye on Lamb Research LRCX tomorrow. This might be... Jesus, didn't even fucking move. It's at 488. Closed at 488. The 515s were $2.50. The 465s were $2. Yikes. IV smash. They always know how to cuck you, Alright, so I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm mad at myself. One of my old babies, Intuitive Surgical Inc. ISRG. I took my eye off the ball on this one over the past couple of weeks, and this thing just fucking rallied like a mojack and then smoked earnings. They actually beat earnings last time, but had a negative reaction. And I was so honked about it because this is like a fucking cash cow. So I took my eyes off it in March, and of course it bottomed basically right when I took my eyes off it. Now it's up, $75? And when this thing moves, it fucking moves. And the options are cheap on it. I mean, for fuck's sake, the 280s closed yesterday at 275. Of course, there was a big purchase right at the end of the day there, like they did in closed day at 22. So you made $2K per contract. This thing, I mean, this thing should be a $500 stock. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh well. You live and learn. Nvidia, huh? I'll end on Nvidia because how many fucking times has this thing tried to break out and failed, and then yesterday it finally does. Today it looked like it was gonna give it back, but actually finished at its highs. It's so fucking close. 280. It needs over 280. Again, I think that one's 300. That's not a $300 stock, but they just don't want it to go. Which is fine, whatever. I don't care. I'm not long it. Actually, I am. But from a long time ago in my IRA, and I don't never want to touch it. Alright, I think that'll do. Let's see. I just want to check something first before I go with you guys on it. I want to see if Crybaby is still crying. He's still on Spaces. I'm sure he's bitching and moaning about something. Oh yeah, his other chirp was it Roblox or whatever the fuck it's called, RBLX, the virtual kids game or whatever it is. He had a long thesis the other day about how his kid was on it and like 3 million other kids were on it at the same time for some Roblox. I don't fucking know. Anyways, that was his long thesis, was that his kids were on it and there's some other kids on it. And then it tanked $10. I think that guy people pay this guy to run their money. How many people are there? 4,500. Retail investors in Tesla are smarter than the analyst. He's an analyst. What a buffoon. He's such a narcissist. He's complaining because his questions weren't answered. He's such a fucking loser. So yeah, anyways, Ross River stinks. He'll always stink. It's guys like him and Kathy Wood who lucked out on a gamma stock like Tesla, and then now think they're the top of the world, but they don't have any other good picks. It's just Tesla, and that's all they can still talk about. Gary Black is the same way. That's all they talk about. It's all they talk about. And occasionally they'll chirp about some other thing when it's moving big in a day. But all they talk about is Tesla. They're stuck in Tesla. They made a lot of money, but now they think they're smart. They think other companies are going to do this when this was just a gamma stock that just rallied off Saudi money. So anyways, I'm ranting again. Alright, so LRCX tomorrow. Let's see how Innovix finishes the week. Banks are open. So let's see. Apple broke out too. If it gives back what it did today, tomorrow, then I think the end of the rally is here. But that's a big ass fucking breakout. I could see 170 kissing first. I think that'll correlate with S&P 4,200. We may overshoot 4,200 a little bit, but I mean, actually, if we get over 4,200, we might see a big old pop and squeeze. But I think that's it, and I think we can start shorting some things from there. But I still think it's a little early for that, especially after last night when they tried to crush the market, and then within 20 minutes of the open, it was green again. So the dynamics currently are by the fucking dip. So don't fight it. Don't fight it. And I also think VIX might crash to 13. That's my call. It might happen, it might not, but I called that when it broke 18, it's going to just fall like a fucking rock. And look what it did when it broke 18. Like a rock, strong when I burr. It kissed 16, 17 today. Full 15 handle? Yes, handle is the 15 part of 1590. That's called a handle. So when people are making ticks and go, I made 20 handles today. It's like, well, you probably didn't, because 20 handles in the S&P would take it from like 4,100 to 2,100. So, I don't know, whatever. People do whatever the fuck they want. I don't care. All right. Love you guys. Love you all. Have a good night. I'll see you guys.